Bhagavatam in the Vrindaban Sept. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, which means the beautiful story of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is a very rare opportunity to understand who is God. Otherwise, nobody seems to know. So Srimad Bhagavatam is completely conclusive. God is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's a person, he has qualities, he has activities, he has pastimes, he has things he does, he has a place he lives, he has things he says, he has friends, relatives, just like you and me. But his form, his qualities, everything's completely spiritual. So it's a very amazing scripture, unique scripture on this planet. And so it's important that everybody hears, whether you're here today or whether you're on the radio or on the recording. This knowledge has to be spread, and it's been given to us by Discourse Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who took the trouble to write many books, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, and of course Krishna book. Krishna book is the summary of the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is leading up to that detailed knowledge of the Supreme Person. This chapter is called Disappearance of Lord Krishna. It refers to when he was appearing on this planet. So of course his appearance is not like yours and mine. If you're God, you don't actually need a mother and a father. You don't need to be born. You don't need to die. You're beyond time and space, everything. So Krishna's pastimes, disappearance pastimes, are like a drama or an opera. It's like something like a showpiece. It's people on the earth, the earthlings like you and me. You've got something to remember and think about, rather than the TV and the radio and the internet. So you have something spiritual, transcendental to think about. Of course, the Bible and Quran, everything is there, but they don't describe who that wonderful person is. The Father of Lord Jesus, or, how do you say, what you call it? He got the angel Gabriel to dictate to Muhammad. Who is that Supreme? Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Mungu, Imana. In South Africa, Unkulunkulu. The name for God. Unkulunkulu. Unkamugoya, Vitamakulu. Many names of God. But there's only one Supreme Person it's referring to, but they don't know much about him. So here's his knowledge. And this chapter is called Discourse of Lord Krishna, chapter 14. If with your permission, because I'd like to catch up, you could revise, you could run through some of these translations, so we can know where we are. Okay, text 1. Sri Sri Goswami said, Arjuna went to Dwarka to see Lord Sri Krishna and other friends, and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities. Text 2. A few months passed, and Arjuna did not return. Maharaj Yudhishthira then began to observe some inauspicious omens. You know, what sometimes I find that the microphone messes everything up. Isn't that true? If I just shouted or spoke loudly, you came closer, you could probably hear better. Because it bounces all around the space. And when it comes to get closer, there's a nice story here. Here, next to the nectar here. Yeah, that's it. Sadhu Sangha.
Jai Maharaj. Sadhu Sangha ki jai.
Prabhupada's family. Put this infernal machine away. A few months passed and Arjuna did not return. Maharaj Yudhisthira then began to observe some inauspicious omens which were fearful in themselves. He saw that the directions of eternal time had changed, and this was very fearful. There were disruptions in the seasonal regulations. In other words,
climate change.
Climate change, yeah.
Maharaj, excuse me. We got people on the internet. About 500 people want to listen to the
Oh,
internet.
really?
500.
Okay.
Well, maybe
1,000, I thought.
that's the only way they're going to hear you.
Point.
I'll put it halfway.
Okay. There were disruptions in the seasonal regularities. The people in general had become very greedy, angry, and deceitful. He saw that they were adopting foul means of livelihood. Text 4. All ordinary transactions and dealings became polluted with cheating, even among
Family members?
friends. Yeah. And in familial affairs, there was always misunderstanding between fathers, mothers, and sons, between well-wishers and between brothers. Even between husband and wife, there was always strain and quarrel, yes. In course of time, it came to pass that people in general became accustomed to greed, anger, pride, etc. Maharaj Yudhisthira, observing all these omens, spoke to his younger brother. 6. Maharaj Yudhisthira said to his younger brother Bhimsen, I sent Arjuna to Dwarka to meet his friends and to learn from the personality of God Krishna of his program of work. Since he departed, 7 months have passed, yet he has not returned. I do not know factually how things are going there. Is he going to quit his earthly pastimes, as Darashi Narada indicated? Has that time already arrived? 9. From him only, capital H, from him only all our kingly opulence, good wives, lives, progeny, control over our subjects, victory over our enemies, and future accommodations in higher planets have become possible. All this is due to his causeless mercy upon us. He's talking about Krishna. Just see, O man with tiger strength, how many miseries due to celestial influences, earthly reactions, and bodily pains, all very dangerous in themselves, are foreboding danger in the near future by deluding our intelligence. 11. The left side of my body, my thighs, arms, and eyes are all quivering again and again. I am having heart palpitations due to fear. All this indicates undesirable happenings. Just see, O Bhima, how the she-jackal cries at the rising sun and vomits fire, and how the dog barks at me fearlessly. 13. O Bhimsen, tiger amongst men. Now useful animals like cows are passing me on my left side, and lower animals like the asses are circumambulating me. My horses appear to weep upon seeing me. 14. Just see, this pigeon is like a messenger of death. The shrieks of the owls and their rival crows make my heart tremble. It appears that they want to make a void of the whole universe. 15. Just as we have the smoke, just see how the smoke encircles the sky. It appears that the earth and mountains are throbbing. Just hear the cloudless thunder and see the bolts from the blue. The wind blows violently, blasting dust everywhere and creating darkness. Clouds are raining everywhere with bloody disasters. 17. The rays of the sun are declining, and the stars appear to be fighting amongst themselves. Confused living entities appear to be ablaze and weeping. Rivers, tributaries, ponds, reservoirs, and the mine are all perturbed. Butter no longer ignites fire. What is this extraordinary time? What is going to happen? The calves do not suck the teats of the cows, nor do the cows give milk. They are standing, crying, tears in their eyes, and the bulls take no pleasure in the pasturing grounds. Text 20. The deities seem to be crying in the temple, lamenting and perspiring. They seem about to leave. All the cities, villages, towns, gardens, mines, and hermitages are now devoid of beauty and bereft of all happiness. I do not know what sort of calamities are now awaiting us. 21. I think that all these earthly disturbances indicate some greater loss to the good fortune of the world. The world was fortunate to have been marked with the footprints of the lotus feet of the Lord. These signs indicate that this will no longer be. 22. O Brahman, Shaunaka, while Maharaj Yudhisthira, observing the inauspicious signs on the earth at that time, was thus thinking to himself, Arjuna came back from the city of the Yadus, Dwarka. Text 23. When he bowed at his feet, the king saw that his dejection was unprecedented. His head was down, and tears glided from his lotus eyes. Text 24. Seeing Arjuna pale due to heartfelt anxieties, the king, remembering the indications of the sage Narad, questioned him in the midst of friends. Maharaj Yudhisthira said, My dear brother, please tell me whether our friends and relatives, such as Madhu, Bhoj, Dashara, Arta, Shatvata, Andaka, and the other members of the Yadu family are all passing their days in happiness. Is my respectable grandfather, Surasen, in a happy mood? And are my material uncle Vasudev and his younger brothers all doing well? Text 27. His 7 wives, headed by Devaki, are all sisters. Are they sad, their sons and daughters-in-law? Sorry. Are they and their sons and daughters-in-law all happy? 28, 29. Are Ugrasena, whose son was a mischievous Kamsa, and his younger brother still... Are you Ugrasena, whose son was a mischievous Kamsa, and his younger brother still living? Are Hridika and his son Kritavarma happy? Are Akrura, Jayanta, Gada, Sarana, and Satrajit all happy? How is Balram, the personality of God and the protector of devotees? Text 30. How is Pradyumna, the great general of the Vishnu family? Is he happy? And is Aniruddha, the plenary expansion of the personality of Godhead, faring well? Which verse is it? Which verse is it?
34.
Okay. Text 31. We're getting there. Wake up now. Are all the chieftains sons of Lord Krishna, such as Surasena, Charudeshna, Samba, the son of Jambavati, and Rishabha, along with their sons, all doing well? 32 and 33. Also, Shrutadev, Uddhava, and others, Nanda, Sunanda, and other leaders of liberated souls who are constant companions of the Lord, are protected by Lord Balaram and Krishna. Are they all doing well in their respective functions? Do they, who are all eternally bound in friendship with us, remembering our welfare? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavan, Api, Govindo, Ramanya, Bhaktavatsala, Kachit, Pure, Sudamaya, Shukam, Aste, Suridvrata. Bhagavanapi Govinda, Bhagavanapi Govinda,
Bhakta
Vatsala,
Kachatpare Sadarmayam, Sukhamaste Surivrata.
Sukhamaste. No one did it today. No one did the blackboard.
Gave up the blackboard. We used to have it during Papa's.
They had it yesterday.
Sabotage. Sabotage. Anyway, it's an easy one. Bhagavan Api Govindo.
Bhagavan Api Govindo.
Brahmanyo Bhakta Vatsala. Kachit Pure Sadamayam. Sukham Aste Surid. Bhagavan Api Govindo. Brahmanyo Bhakta Vatsala. Kachit Pure Sudamayam. Sukham Aste Suridvrata.
Bhagavanapi Govinda.
Bhagavan.
The personality of Godhead.
The personality of God.
Krishna.
Api.
Also. Govinda.
Govinda.
One who enlivens the cows and the senses.
one who lives the cows and senses.
Brahmayaha,
Brahmayaha,
Brahmanyaha, devoted to the devotees or the brahmanas.
The devotees or the brahmana.
Bhakta-vatsalaha,
Bhakta-vatsalaha,
affectionate to the devotees.
affectionate to the devotees.
Kachit,
Kachit,
whether,
Weather.
Pure,
Pure,
in Drakapuri,
In
Drakapuri,
Sudamaya,
Sudamaya,
pious assembly,
pious assembly,
Sukham,
Sukham,
happiness,
happiness,
Aste,
Aste,
does enjoy,
does enjoy,
Surit,
Surit,
Vrataha,
Surit Vritaha,
surrounded by friends.
surrounded by friends.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Vaishnava Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Translation. Is Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives pleasure to the cows, the senses, and the brahmanas, who is very affectionate towards his devotees, enjoying the pious assemblies at the Drakapuri, surrounded by friends? Question. Please repeat. Is Lord Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Is Lord Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Who gives pleasure to the cows,
who gives pleasure to the cows,
the senses and the brahmanas,
the senses and the brahmanas,
who is very affectionate towards his devotees,
who is very affectionate toward his devotees,
enjoying the pious assembly at Drakapuri,
enjoying the pious assembly at Dwarkapuri,
surrounded by friends?
surrounded by friends?
Purport. Here, in this particular verse, the Lord is described as Bhagavan, Govinda, Brahmanya, and Bhakta Vatsala. He is Bhagavan Swayam, or the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, full with all opulences, all power, all knowledge, all beauty, all fame, and all renunciation. No one is equal to or greater than him. He is Govinda because he is the pleasure of the cows and the senses. Prabhupada is expanding on these words. He is Govinda because he is the pleasure of the cows and the senses. Those who have purified their senses by the devotional service of the Lord can render unto him real service and thereby derive transcendental pleasure out of such purified senses. Only the impure, conditioned living being cannot derive any pleasure from the senses, but being illusioned by false pleasures of the senses, he becomes servant of the senses. Therefore, we need his protection for our own interest. The Lord is the protector of cows and the Brahminical culture. A society devoid of cow protection and Brahminical culture is not under the direct protection of the law, just as the prisoners in the jails are not under the protection of the king, but under the protection of a severe agent of the king. Without cow protection and cultivation of the Brahminical qualities in human society, at least for a section of the members of society, no human civilization can prosper at any length. By Brahminical culture, the development of the dormant qualities of goodness, namely truthfulness, equanimity, sense control, fearlessness, simplicity, general knowledge, transcendental knowledge, and firm faith in the Vedic wisdom sorry, I got lost there. By Brahminical culture, the development of the dormant qualities of goodness, namely truthfulness, equanimity, sense control, forbearance, simplicity, general knowledge, transcendental knowledge, and firm faith in the Vedic wisdom, one can become a Brahmana and thus see the Lord as he is. And after surpassing the Brahminical perfection, one has to become a devotee of the Lord, so that his loving affection in the form of proprietor, master, friend, son, and lover can be transcendently achieved. The stage of a devotee which attracts the transcendental affection of the Lord does not develop unless one has developed the qualities of a Brahmin as above mentioned. The Lord is inclined to a Brahmin of quality and not of false prestige. Those who are less than a Brahmin by qualification cannot establish any relation with the Lord, just as fire cannot be kindled from the raw earth unless there is wood, although there is a relation between wood and the earth. Since the Lord is all perfect in himself, there could not be any question of his welfare. And Maharaj Yudhisthira refrained from asking this question. He simply inquired about his residential place, Dwarkapuri, where pious men assemble. The Lord stays only where pious men assemble and takes pleasure in their glorifying the Supreme Truth. Maharaj Yudhisthira was anxious to know about the pious men and their pious acts in the city of Dwarka. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumilitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Davitam Yena Bhutale Swayamrupakadamaya Tadati Svapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam bhangam langayate girim, yat kripatalam bande, Shri Gurun Dinatayanam. So by the mercy of the Guru, the blind man can see the stars, the lame man can climb mountains, and the dumb man can speak poetry. So we have to admit that, I do anyway, that but for Srila Prabhupada, there be no question of Brahminical qualities developing in my heart, and I think everyone will agree that is because of his firm conviction in his spiritual master's words and his carrying the message of Guru Parampara and the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna's words, Srimad Bhagavatam, that this movement was started, and the aim of the movement is educational, it's Brahminical. It's a Brahminical movement to educate society at large in systematically educate society at large in the principles of spiritual life. It's a science, so people don't know this science. They don't know about the three modes. They don't know about the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, ignorance. Maybe poets and artists have given some indications. Thoughtful men, they have given some indication. Like I was saying yesterday, William Wordsworth wrote about something about intimations of immortality, trailing clouds of glory do we come, from whence in the past there was glory. So there's some idea, the fall of man, there in the Bible, in Genesis, and there's some indication in human society. And we know that Jesus wanted us to be good. 10 Commandments are there. Wanted us to love God with all our heart, with all our soul. But who's following? Who can follow these instructions today? Prabhupada was saying in one class recently, I was hearing him say, we were looking for a temple in London. We were thinking of an old church. And we went around London looking. Saw an old church is empty. And now they become bingo halls, bingo's like gambling, or residences. Sometimes they just put floors in and make them into flats. And when we try and take them, they say, sorry, you can't, Hare Krishna can't take them. Sometimes they say like that. Prabhupada was indicating that people have lost all interest in spiritual life. They become cynical, disillusioned. But then Prabhupada said that some of the priests, they said, how is it that we try to get these young people to be interested in Christianity? They didn't come to our church, they didn't come to our chapel. Alright, they weren't interested. And now you've got a place packed out. Young people jumping up and down. How is it? So, yeah, Prabhupada, he was carrying the Brahmanical culture with him. And he's giving us the real knowledge. Instead of saying, okay, you can do what you like, don't worry. You pay $30 and press your eyeballs and you'll be able to see God and so on and so forth. So many teachers had gone to America